then it's Visma Lisa Bike in second once again, but not the riders we've been used to seeing. Tim Wellens, the 113th rider in history to complete the trilogy of Grand Tour stage wins, with this his first ever Tour de France victory. I mean, that was quite a remarkable... I feel like I say this after every single stage of this Tour de France, but from start to finish, with the chaos, the crashes, the splits, Tim Wellens then taking a little bit out the day from UAE Team Emirates car as well. You're looking beautiful. He's looking perfect. That's the kind of cheerleading I'm here for.
Yeah. Is he looking fabulous?
Yes, he is, darling.
I don't know if that's code for something, but absolutely fabulous, darling.
It is unusual, though, isn't it, for UAE to take a stage win at the Tour de France when Tad
alluded to. Well, what I want to say first, before I get into sort of how he did it, I want to say that Tim Wellens won not just with the legs, but he won because he has the highest bike IQ out of everybody who was off the front today, because he used everything. Go back to the car. I'm this, I'm that, I'm whatever it takes. I'm not doing a turn. And as the race reshuffled, when the brake basically got caught, the race got really hard, new riders come forward. Well, there it is, Tim's been up there. He was one of the ones up there at the front. So he said, I'm tired. I've been in the front. I'm going to sit on the back. And they sort of ignore him again until he gets to around almost the identical point.
In that Belgian national champs jersey as well. Incredibly special for such a cycling mad country. Before we pick apart anything else from that finale in itself, let's hear a little bit of reaction from within that team. Here's Mara Giannetti. Lisa Bike, because this is how Visma like to ride into the yellow jersey, with stage wins peppered here and there with different riders. They've taken their game plan.
Yes, and they did actually perfect. They did perfect race way. They were controlling. They had everything.
Understandable that Julian Alaphilippe celebrated after everything he's been through when he thought he had crossed the line in first. He was, in the end, edging his wheel in front of Wout van Aert, but for third, because we had Tim Wellens first, we had Victor Kampenaerts in second. How does that happen, Adam? Because it's so easy to sit back and say, how on earth did he not know that Tim Wellens had won, that Kampenaerts was up the road? But you've got to have an awful lot of sympathy for a man like Julian Alaphilippe, who knows what it is to win bike races, who knows what it takes. We know that he didn't want to give interviews afterwards. He's surely going to be embarrassed about this, which I hate to say even, because I don't want to project that emotion onto him. He's such a champion. How does this go?
Okay.
The team thought he'd won.
No, I think the team is saying well done for being in the front. They will have known what's happening. We don't know if Julian's got his race radio out now, and you're trying to concentrate, you're trying to focus on everything around you. He'll have probably been thinking about that finish and how he could have won. And he thought he did everything right. And when you get fixated onto this is my moment to win a Tour de France stage, you do get lost in it. But it's difficult, it's hard, it's more embarrassing. But the next day in the peloton, it'll be fun for everyone around him just to come up and just give him a pat on the back. And he's a character. He will laugh about it eventually. But to be on this biggest stage and thought you won a Tour de France stage, then realise you haven't just because you've not heard riders up the road, there's no other way to put it. He will be very embarrassed.
He will be. But he was, in his defence of not knowing quite what was going on, he was in a group that merged with a group in front of that. And he must have thought, well, he is the front of the race.
No one could be that.
Do you know what? 3 former pros, you can have a laugh. For me, my heart absolutely breaks from it. I just can't imagine what that must feel like to realise that you celebrated in error. We see this happening, of course, don't we? We saw it a few years ago. This is the moment. As he's obviously realised that he didn't win. But we saw it a few years ago, didn't we, with Jasper Philipsen, when he thought he had won his first stage at the time of the Tour de France. A few days later, then he did take it.
And, especially him, Julian, he is waiting for such a long time for, again, to come back and to have a great victory again. So we all love him, right?
Yeah.
So,
absolutely.
It's sad, but also at the same time,
also great to see him celebrate third place, as he did.
And the photo.
You would have celebrated off the back of that group.
I would have been in that group, just got out of a van, rejoined them, and then gone, yes!
I tell you what you would have done. You would have hung off the back to make sure there was nobody behind you, so that the picture of you crossing the line looked like you'd won solo.
Listen, you know it.
Listen, we can cross over to Hannah Walker because she's made her way to the Tudor bus. Hannah, what's going on there? What's the vibe?
Well, right now...
Intel from on the ground. I'm sorry, dislocated shoulder. What? This sport is ridiculous.
took a blow to the shoulder. It was a nasty crash, that's for sure.
Dislocated shoulder,
he was on the ground and he
in the air then. So there might be something happened on the bus where he's angry and he's punched a chair and then he's dislocated his shoulder. I don't think it might have happened, but I don't know. I think to me, it looks like finish the stage, realise what happened.
Miles and miles away. But credit to him, though, falling off. He was in a lot of pain there on the ground. In the end, he's finished third on the stage.
Yeah.
Well, it was a frantic day on stage 15, as Adam says, our 15th one-day classic, essentially, of this Tour de France. And it wasn't a day for the sprinters in the end. They weren't able to control the stage. That means that Jonathan Milan is still in this fight for the green jersey, that he is intermediate. So Mathieu has closed the gap slightly to Tadej Pogacar. He's now within 13 points of Pogacar. So Robbie, what's this going to mean for Jonathan Milan's chances of green? Because he kind of had to take points every time he had the opportunity.
Pogacar chasing him, Van der Poel chasing him.
Yeah, so he'd be fairly relaxed. The fact that he, in the road book, an iconic finish, of course, he'd love to win there and pick up the points. The mission remains the same for Milan and his team that I pointed out earlier. But they got to do same every single day. Ride to the intermediate sprint like it's a stage finish, and then when there's a sprint day, don't mess it up.
Yes, earlier, and we've been talking around this crash earlier in the day, which saw Florian Lipovic held up, Jonas Vingegaard held up, and there was panic in the GC battle. What I loved is hearing from the UAE car, Adam, when they're saying, Florian's down, Jonas is down, Tadej, slow this down for us. And
in Tadej's, so all credit to him, right, for that situation, 100%.
I think the radio communication was the biggest thing out of it.
Yeah.
Like, even if Tadej couldn't do anything, at least they were saying it out loud for the world to hear. Like, this is what we want to do, just listen up.
The next one will be next time is...
This is the chaos from the crash earlier then. This is really early on in the stage, and I think we're expecting a much more straightforward start to the days, Denyek, weren't we?
Yeah, it's... I was just checking.
Julian Alaphilippe, of course, he seemed to go down the hardest of all. But yeah, that situation is such a difficult one for Tadej to be told, try and control what everybody's doing when
stuff out of that GC chat, at least. That's the point. Nobody really cares if the yellow jersey is not controlling the breakaway. It's whether or not the guys behind are going to be disadvantaged in the overall race, isn't it?
Yeah, in that situation where he is, he's not got anything to gain. Something was to happen, he would have had that support from behind, but I think it's looking at the situation, he was in the right place, the other end, do nothing.
Well, we have a rest day to be it the wind. It always creates drama. I love it.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just said, oh my God. I've raced up it a couple of times, and the secret for me was not to look up to the top because it's a point that...
I've hiked up it to support my brother doing the tap and I got blisters.
I'll be on the motorbike, I'll be fine, I'll be loving
Are you talking us through it?
It's fine, come on, we all know about Mont Ventoux now. Flipping hard. It's hard, it's open, it's exposed, it's steep at the top.
Well,
Somebody is checking out.
Look, we all know about Mont Ventoux, it's hard. The most important thing is it's flat throughout the day before it. So there's a lot of riders that are able to get fresh, the breakaway. If it's the right one, might be able to establish.
But you can also get, talking about that flat until the climb, if the wind is up in this region, the Mistral, it's maybe not the right time of year for it, but it can get very, very windy, funneling down.
So, of course, it's everybody wants to win on this stage. You want to win there. But on the other hand, if there is big breakaway, maybe they say, OK, just go for it.
I mean, it's a brutal way to come out of a rest day, Robbie, isn't it?
It is. Or at least it got a few kilometres on the flat to one climb. So, but it is going to be such a battle between the GC riders. Nowhere to hide. You're initially in the forest, and it feels like quite a normal climb.
Yeah.
Get to Chalet Renard, and that's where the trees finish. And you're
side. There's only one climb on the downside. It's Mont Ventoux.
Yes.
Shall we see how we fared after the day's activities? Then coming into
We've got points back.
We do have points back. No, we don't, because we went with Denyek.
Yeah,
Who did you go for today?
Tim Merlier.
Tim Merlier, that's
yesterday, Julian. So I swapped the days.
Yeah, this is the thing though. It gets really annoying when you've picked a rider on another day and then you see them go up the road and you think, this is the day I should have gone for them.
But apart from Hannah, because to be fair, Paulus was up the road today.
Yeah.
Do you think she got intel?
I don't know. Let me just do my quick calculation. We're only joking, Hannah. We love you.
Anyway, Zdeněk, that calls an end to our time with you on the breakaway. It's been wonderful having you. Have you enjoyed it?
Yes, I did enjoy it. It was a nice experience. Thank you for that.
You didn't come across as nervous at all. You were brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Probably need a rest more than any of us after putting up with this chaos for the last week. Anyway, that just about wraps up our weekend with you, but plenty more sport for you to watch. 15, Tim Wellens becomes the 113th rider to complete the Grand Tour Stage Trilogy. The second week here in France comes to an end, and it has not disappointed us for 1 minute. We'll take our own rest day.